Welcome, I'm Darshan Mehta and you are watching Ask BQ on Bloomberg Quint Live. If you've got any questions on the state election results and the impact of elections on the market, this is the right show for you. Send in your queries to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022 454044141 or mail us on askbq@bloombergquint.com. Make sure you add the AskBQ hashtag. Joining me on the show is Tamanna Inamdar. Good afternoon, Tamanna. Interesting day for the market at this point of time. The election, two states, still no verdict yet.
We're some time away from a verdict, but we know a couple of things for sure, and a couple of things are just hanging in the balance. So let me take you through that very quickly. Chhattisgarh. We know for sure that the Congress is most likely to form the next government in Chhattisgarh, and this may be the biggest surprise package of these 5 state elections. The Congress leading in 59 of 90 seats, so across the halfway mark fairly comfortably there. Chhattisgarh is where the Congress can breathe a sigh of relief. The other sure shot is in the state of Telangana, a rosy pink there across the state. That's the color of the TRS, of course led by last Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. This is the first time the state of Telangana has gone to polls. The last time they voted, they were part of United Andhra in 2014 in elections which were held with the Lok Sabha elections. KCR suspended his assembly early, went in for elections with these other 4 states, and it's paid big for him. At 90 is where KCR is. He got about 63 plus 2 by-poll results, 65 in 2014. When he dissolved his assembly, he had 90 seats, but those were, MLAs who had crossed over. He's got it all back right now. The Congress tied up with the TDP and 2 other parties. It clearly didn't work for them. What seems to have worked for the Congress is Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan was predicted as an easy-peasy win for the Congress. I wouldn't be so sure at this point because of this number. Others at 21 and BSP at 3. The Congress is at 95. They need 101 to win. Remember, the counting is still on. You have most of the leads. They're only 199 because the voting took place in 199. Even so, it's very close, too close to be comfortable yet. And Rajasthan could throw up a surprise for the Congress at the last moment. Let's come to Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is the prestige state in these 5, I would call it. It would be very painful for the BJP to lose this. It would be a big shot in the Congress, in the arm for the Congress to win this. There are 109, 108. This is the same trend we've seen since the get-go, a neck-and-neck race. And this is where, the BSP and the others could come into play. It's interesting because before the election, Mayawati of the BSP made it clear that she did not want to ally with the Congress because she found them arrogant. She may have a big role once the numbers are finally done and dusted. In Mizoram, also a clear result. So 3 out of 5 are fairly clear. In Mizoram, it's the Mizo National Front, which is zoomed ahead, way above the halfway mark. So they're set to form the next election. Here again, this is one of the 2 main parties which has been in power in the state of Mizoram. The surprise here, of course, is BJP. They've opened their account for the first time in the state of Mizoram, and the MNF is their ally on the national level. So in a way, this is one saving grace for the BJP if the other 2, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, don't go their way.
Okay, let's get in our experts for the special election coverage to analyze the market trends and answer all your market-related queries. We have Dilip Bhatt, Joint MD of Prabhudas Lilladher, and Ajay Bodke, CEO of Prabhudas Lilladher, with us. And to analyze the election trends and answer all your queries on the state elections, we have political economy analyst Shankar Iyer and political commentator Amitabh Tiwari. Welcome to the show to all 4 of our guests. Okay, let's start with the view that's coming in first. The first question comes in from Suresh Sharma, and it's more of a market-related query. What Suresh is asking, he writes to us with a query. He asks if the BJP will now push for welfare schemes to win back votes in the 2019 election. Suresh now wants to know what the impact of such a move will be on the markets and the economy. So let's ask the market-related guest, Ajay, what's your take on this? Your read into the election verdict, and what's the impact on the market and economy going ahead?
Good afternoon. I think with hardly 3 months left, for the model code of conduct to kick in, I think it's too short a period, for the government to think of rolling out any more populist schemes. I think the government is committed to adhering to its fiscal deficit target, and hence I'm not in the camp that believes that the results of the assembly elections of today, even if they sort of go adverse insofar as BJP is concerned, it will propel them to go down the populist path.
I'm going to take this question from Chanchal Gehlot, and we want to take in as many questions as we can in this show. So do write in with any queries you have. Chanchal Gehlot writes in from New Delhi. I don't know if there's any relation to Ashok Gehlot, but he's going to be a happy man today. Who says that as the trends indicate a Congress win in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, will the victory help elevate Rahul Gandhi's image as the leader of united opposition? That's a very interesting and pertinent question, Chanchal, and I'm going to get Shankar to answer that first. They had their big alliance meet a day before the results. That is yesterday, which I thought was interestingly timed because they didn't want these results to impact whatever was decided yesterday. But if we see the Congress in a much stronger position, does that boost the chances of Rahul Gandhi of leading that opposition alliance?
Rahul Gandhi's position about who will lead the alliance is will depend on actually what the other parties, how they perform and what stakes do they have. So Congress's stake in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, 120 seats, is pretty much dismal. So to say that this leads to that would be difficult, but yes, the fact that Congress had less than 50 or 60 seats in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh earlier, and now they have crossed the 200 mark together. So it does help in his relevance. Him as Rahul Gandhi's relevance to the coalition building, to the leadership of the Congress, to Indian politics gets strengthened. Remember, this is the guy who's like been muddied and caricatured for 4 years and has withstood all that and still come up and taken his party along. He has also managed the Sachin Pilot versus Gehlot issue. He has managed the Kamal Nath and Digvijay versus Scindia issue. Yeah. So there are nuances here which show that he is coming into his own in that sense. Having said that, the party organization itself is quite weak. If they are suffering in Rajasthan, it's because they are unable to convert the last mile. If they are suffering in Madhya Pradesh, also it's because they are unable to convert the last mile. And so the fact is BJP takes its business of politics very seriously, whereas the Congress tends to be complacent and believes it's entitled to govern. And so that last mile force that is required to convert word, to talk to people, that is not happening. And this is perhaps an area of weakness that might help. Having said that, does the rise of Rahul and the rise of Congress pose a threat to Modi? Now that is something that's a different. It's been a year. Issue. It's been a year. Amitabh, I want you to weigh in on this because it's been about a year since Rahul Gandhi took over as Congress president. There was a cloud even then saying, okay, what are the achievements? The wins today, if these leads convert to wins, would clock in as an achievement for sure.
Of course. This will solidify or strengthen Rahul's position within the party. You remember there is still an old guard who was not possibly seen supporting him. But these 2-3 states, whether it wins or does not win, the improvement in the performance is significant, and this will go down as credit to Rahul. What will also happen is that whether the other parties will accept him as the coalition leader or not, those chances also get brightened now, I would say. Because the other parties know that Congress is the only national party and all the other regional parties are tied to specific states. So Mamata Banerjee cannot get votes in any other state apart from Bengal. Same for Naidu apart from Andhra. Same for maybe Akhilesh or Mayawati. So he's the only leader who can get votes for this alliance across or on a pan-India basis. So this will help him in negotiations with the Mahagathbandhan leaders, and then we'll see how it pans out. Because having a leaderless election at a time when you have Modi on the opposition, and at a time when elections are more and more becoming presidential style, will be very difficult for Mahagathbandhan to really make an impact.
So my only point is the 3 states where one is decided, Chhattisgarh, the other 2, the BJP is facing anti-incumbency, wherein still the Congress hasn't won. It's neck and neck in at least one state. And now goes the issue where it's state versus center. So 2019 will be where people will vote for the central government, not the state government. Will Rahul's image still be as strong as what can be anticipated now? Because as of now, if you're looking at it, it's not a clean sweep.
No, that's true. I mean, so here's the thing. You all deal with markets.
Yeah.
So what is the upside for Congress and what is the downside for BJP? That's the measure. So the upside for the Congress is that they're getting traction. The upside for the Congress is that they have identified Dalits, farmers and small and medium enterprises as a catchment area. The upside for the Congress is that, I mean, they can't do worse than 44. I mean, they would hope so. And even if they get 100 seats, they will be in a situation like they were in 1996. And Rahul Gandhi, as the leader of the coalition or whatever, would be in a situation what sort of, I mean, it's very desperate comparison, but what VP Singh was to the 1996 coalition building exercise. So he may not necessarily be the PM. My own belief is that he won't be, but that apart. When it all matters as to who gets how many seats.
Yeah.
So if Mamta brings in more seats, I mean, sure, her chances.
No, we're far away. We're far from that breakup.
But the thing that one must recognize is, from Gujarat onwards, he has made even Punjab onward.
Yeah.
Gujarat, he made sure he tied up with Hardik, this Mewani and others. He brought in the guerrilla tactics there. In Punjab, he allowed Amrinder to do what he wanted, got Sidhu. Let Amrinder decide Sidhu's role.
Okay.
In Karnataka, he enabled Ghulam Nabi Azad and others to go and sign up with Deve Gowda. That was a smart, swift move. In Madhya Pradesh, to keep Digvijay out of the campaign and to allow Kamal Nath to use Digvijay as and when necessary and keep Jyotiraditya Scindia quiet, again big. In Rajasthan, to handle the complexity of a young face and an old guard, again he has done. So he is representing something. But all of this at the national level, the 2019 thing, even for the BJP, it will have to make the promises. It doesn't have to spend in February and March.
Yeah.
It has to make the promises, and the promises will contain something that TRS has done in Telangana.
Okay. Okay, let's get in the next question. That is from Gagan Arora. He writes to us from Patiala. He asked, how are the markets going to react, considering that the markets have always, the bulls have always been in favor of a BJP government? I'll let Dilip Bhatt answer this. Dilip, what are you advising your clients on this move? And answer Gagan's query, will the markets like it if it's not a BJP government in majority of the states?
Well, I think markets have priced in that BJP, after all, was not going to fare so well. And I think as we went closer to the polls, it was getting adequately reflected in the stock prices. And I think, I don't think that this is going to act as a surprise. More important, going forward, everybody is still going to ask the question whether Modi will get a very decisive majority in 2019. I have always been maintaining that even if Modi comes or doesn't come, even if there's an alliance or any other factors, India will continue its linear growth between 7 to 8%, and that is what is ultimately going to matter. And I think the past trends and examples have shown that it doesn't matter who comes, India's economy continues to be on a strong growth trajectory. And for investors, at the end of it, that is the bottom line.
This question is from Mazhar Sheikh. He writes to us with a query. He wants to know which are the sectors that will be in focus considering what we've seen in today's election. Ajay, what are you telling your clients? Which are the sectors that you all are pushing, seeing the current...
His question is very specific, Darshan. He wants to know the sectors that are likely to get a boost if the BJP loses in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh?
So basically, so that's the query. If the state elections goes against the BJP, what are the sectors that will be in focus? Ajay, you can take that one.
I think, so I think, you know, in the run-up to the general elections, if the BJP were to lose, and one has to wait, you know, till the end of the day to know exactly what happens in closely contested states like MP and Rajasthan. But assuming that the three Hindi heartland states vote in favor of the Congress, then I think in the run-up to the general elections, a sense of uncertainty, I think, certainly would loom large over the markets. And in so defensive sectors like IT and pharmaceuticals are the ones where a largish amount of capital allocation should be done. At the same time, I think looking at the benign inflationary trends, our expectation is that the RBI, I think, would be compelled in its next meeting to change its stance from withdrawal of accommodation to neutral, and possibly cut repo rate by 25 basis points. And hence, some of the beaten down sectors, which are interest rate sensitives, like autos, consumer durables, and even BFSI, I think should be looked at with a medium-term perspective for investments. And I think, you know, so these are the sectors where the valuations also are quite compelling, and one should be looking at some of the leaders in these sectors of autos, consumer durables, and BFSI.
Sharma has asked a very interesting question. Mukul, kudos on a very timely question. He asks that since trends are showing no clear majority in Rajasthan, if that remains the case, who will possibly play the kingmaker? His question comes in even as I've seen an alert that Sachin Pilot is in talks with some independent candidates right now. And that will be key, isn't it? Amitabh, I'll let you field this, because the last we saw 21 leads for others. Yeah. And we know that both the BJP and the Congress had huge headaches with rebel candidates. A lot of them stood by themselves, and now they will play a decisive role.
Yeah, see, it's a game of vote shares in Rajasthan. I was just looking at the numbers. Both BJP and Congress are tied at 38.5%. And independents have 10% vote share. And 13 of the independents are leading in their respective seats. BSP is 3, CPM is 2, which is likely to go with Congress. RLP is 3. I think it has an alliance with Congress, or it has an understanding. And there is a Bharatiya Tribal Party, which is a Gujarat party, is gaining on 1 seat. Here, if Congress emerges as the single largest party, which is very likely, and it will probably fall short by 4 or 5 seats, it will have the edge to form the government. It will be invited to form the government because independents are not a single bloc. There are 13 independents. So Congress has the edge there, and independents plus BSP plus CPM could play a role.
Okay, the next question comes in from Kulbhushan Sethi. He writes to us from Ahmedabad. He wants to know, will the Nifty touch 12,000 over the next 6 months if BJP loses the state election? Dilip, what's your verdict on the Nifty? Where do you see the Nifty if the BJP loses all these state election? Is it possible for Nifty to be at 12,000?
Well, I think in the short term of 6 months, and in the run-up to the central elections, in any case, the volatility is bound to be there and uncertainty is bound to be there. So even if BJP loses its 3 states, or even if managed to retain one of the states, I think 12,000 is something that can happen for some totally different reasons. But our own sense is that apprehension will still prevail, and that will still be in the forefront in the minds of the investors. So I'm not looking at 12,000 immediately, but maybe next time by next December, or December 19th or March 20th, I think 12,500 looks very much on the cards.
Okay, that is an interesting point over there. Markets looking very closely at these elections as well. I just want to make a point, because Darshan, you speak to market guys day in and day out, but I had an opportunity to speak to a few market experts recently, and there was a distinct difference in tone where they were saying that we have seen coalition governments in the past also perform well. I got the sense that hang up of, we need a clear majority government, preferably BJP, might be receding. They'll come to terms with whatever the people of India decide.
Yeah, that's it. Because, even I spoke to people and they are saying that, it's better if you have a little bit of coalition rather than a full majority, because they saw 5 years of full majority. Now they are saying it's slightly better if there is some partner with the BJP who would keep it in check.
A little bit of control on maybe some decisions. All right, we'll end the show at that. Thank you all for all your queries. Thank you so much, Amitabh, Ajay, Dilip and Shankar, of course, for joining us today. Keep watching BloombergQuint.com. There's a lot more of election and markets coming up.